Right, we're in our next stage, and this is using an app called Grammarly. Grammarly, again, very inexpensive, but what Grammarly does is it checks for you the text, because you may or may not be so comfortable with the writing, and ChatGPT is great, but it's not perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut and paste my content into Grammarly from my ChatGPT. Now, Grammarly is letting me choose the domain. For example, let's say I'm going to make it casual, okay? But I do want to make it informative, okay? And I do want to sound knowledgeable, but I do want it to be informal. So now I'm going to let it run its task. Now you can see here that the overall performance score is not too bad, but there are some things that it wants to change because ChatGPT is not a grammar expert. So what I can do here, I can see the overall score. Okay, pretty good though, 97 out of 100. I says now that it's likely to be understood by a reader who has at least a 16-year-old 10th grade education. So if they're 55, they should be beyond that by now. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to follow this, because can you see here, it's going to let me just auto correct. Okay, and I can update here all of these different things, and here it's going to let me change. And I like to do this because the ChatGPT sometimes uses words and phrases that aren't perfect. The sentiment is okay, but it's still not perfect. And certainly the grammar is not as good as Grammarly. Okay, so here. Now, this doesn't really matter too much because these are just my my prompts. Okay, and it's going to choose this. This says the spelling of traveling is a non-British variant. Can you see here now? We're all good. So you can see here Grammarly helps to make this all nice and clean. And then what we can do with Grammarly is you can see we can just then export this as a document and take it out of the Grammarly. And you can see here, I can just download it here. Okay, so now I've got my blog post and my images keywords. Okay, so next we move on.
Hey. Luna had to pop out, but before she signed off for the day, she asked me to check in with you and see how Jim got on. Did he help you to understand how you can amaze your customers? We think we're pretty incredible, but what's really important is that we can help you to look good and to grow your business. I know that Jim is just a beginner, but we think he'll get the hang of it. What do you think? Does he deserve his Singapore ginseng drink at the Raffles Hotel or not?